The first step in our journey is to understand single responsibility principle. In this section, we will look into the definition of single responsibility principle, some examples, symptoms of violating single responsible principle, solutions, code example, and in the end, we will do a wrap up. Now, if I want to compare single responsibility principle in real life, a good example will be to a clean and organized room where everything has its own place and everything should be put in its own place. So let's dive into the details. Let's look into the single responsibility principle definition. Single responsibility principle in short is also known as SRP. SRP can be stated as follows. A class should have only a single responsibility and only one reason to change. And in any software application, what makes the code change? Well, it's the people who ask for the requirement. Let's call these people actors, and this actor could be an individual or a group of people. So the second statement of single responsibility principle states that as per this principle, only one actor could be the source of the change. So in nutshell, in SRP, a class should have only a single responsibility and one reason to change, and also one actor should be the source of that change. As mentioned, single responsibility principle in short is also called as SRP. We will look into some examples in the next section. Now let's look at some examples. Say you have built a financial software application, say a web-based application. Two team manages this application and issue requirement changes, which eventually causes financial application to change and update over a period of time. Typical of in this kind of application, there will be a GUI, UI, UX team which will change or update the application so that to make it more appealing. The second team will be the business team which will change the application as per the business needs. Some of this example here could be a change in tax logic which will require application logic or business rules to be updated. So here we see two teams with two separate purposes is acting on the same application. So as per SRP, a class should only have a single responsibility and only one reason to change. So in the above example, the class or module which is responsible for GUI, which is mentioned here on the slide as GUI class, should be separated out with a class which make the changes for business rule, which is named here on the slide as tax rule class, so that any change or update in the GUI class does not affect or update the tax rule class. So the SRP principle can also be stated as gather together for the things that change for the same reason for at same time and separate the things that changes for different reason at different time. Let me repeat this again. Gather together for things that change for the same reason for at same time and separate the things that changes for different reason at different time. You can see how this applies to the GUI and tax rule class. SRP principle also goes one step further, that is, it not only gathers out things that change for the same reason but also for same time. For example, if we look for the business rule changes for taxation, there is a scheduled tax rate change that application need to undergo every year, but also there could be other changes to business rules, say adding a new tax feature, which are not part of the scheduled tax change and can work on different project schedule or timeline. So as per this principle, these two changes need to be separated out as shown here as separate tax rule class and tax feature class. Let's try to understand this principle with real life example. Picture those duck vehicles you see occasionally in some lakeside towns. They are street legal and water capable, and yet you don't see a whole lot of them. There are millions of families out there that owns both cars and boats, and there are very few families that buy those duck vehicles. Do you know why? It's most likely because no one wants to be unable to drive to work because their boat rudder is broken. Duck vehicles are fun, but they're also a great example of pitfall that the SRP can help you to avoid. You want to separate out responsibility of riding a boat versus that of a car. You don't want to mix this responsibility in one class or in one vehicle in this case. In this section, we will look into the pitfall and symptoms of not using single responsibility principle. Say you are developing a payroll software application and you have a class employee which has 3 functions or methods. Calculate pay, which calculates the pay function of the employee. Save employee, which update the details of the employee in the backend employee database. And print employee report, which generates a report with employee details. So you have a class with 3 functions or method as shown on the screen. Now let's look at the stakeholders of these functions. Calculate pay method is something CFO will be interested in, so it will be managed by the CFO's development team. Managing of employee information is usually taken care by CTO team, so save employee method will be managed by CTO's development team. And print report method will be managed by COO's development team. So as you can see, here we have one class employee, it has 3 methods and each method is being taken care by 3 different teams. Each of this group, that is CTO, CFO and COO, will be asking for changes. And since each of this group can change this employee class, it violates the single responsibility principle. So what are the drawbacks of such design? And let's look at the symptoms of SRP violation. That is what happens when we don't follow the SRP principle. So the first symptom is change management collusion or CM collusion in short. So what happens if 2 teams, say CTO team and CEO team, wants to make the change at the same time? Then you will have a CM collusions. Because CTO development team is going to make the change related to save employee method, whereas COO development team will be making the changes related to the print employee report method. And if the 2 teams check in at the same time, you may get CM collusion. Now agree there is a tool to handle this conflict, but it's nice to follow single responsibility principle and have these methods in separate class so it is more clean and manageable and there is a less conflict of code. Next is collateral damage, and this one has more impact than the change management collusion. Let's try to understand the symptom with example. So consider there is a common function calculate bonus which is being used by both print employee and save employee method. Now consider a scenario where the CEO comes and say he needs to update the report, and now the bonus logic should consider certain factor value, and this leads to update of the bonus calculation method or logic. You are a part of CEO team, you go and update the logic completely ignorant of the fact that calculate pay is also calling the same function, and you don't consider to test calculate pay method as it's not part of your domain testing. It's not part of CEO testing. It's part of CFO team testing. And the CFO team may be unaware of the change and you break the calculate pay logic of CFO, which could have a larger impact to the business. One of the symptoms of violation of SRP is that it makes the class bolted and bulky with additional responsibility as shown here. Say you want to add logic for 2 new tax reports, say normal tax report and GST report, then more and more report functions are created which pollutes the employee class. Employee class has now become polluted with additional methods dealing with report. Transitive impact is an interesting symptom. Say the print employee report method is using an external API to print. Say it's using a method in print API class. Now let's consider there is new release of the print API class and now the employee class methods need to be matched to the new print API class. This causes impact to all users of the employee class. So why should all users of employee class be impacted with change in the library, which is ideally should impact only report function? It should not impact the users or client which is calling save or calculate pay method. So it's a pitfall of not following the SRP principle. So these were some of the symptoms of not using single responsibility principle. So always remember, when single responsibility principle is not followed and one class owns multiple responsibility, it makes class unmanageable. It makes difficult to understand. So to summarize, the methods in the employee doesn't seem to belong together. It should be part of separate class. That is, we should be separating out things that exist for different reason and group together the changes that exist in the same reason. So the question is how to separate these methods. We will see that in the next section. So as we have seen earlier, we had one class employee, it had three methods and each method is being taken care by three different teams. Each of this group, that is CTO, CFO and COO, will be asking for changes, and since each of this group can change the employee class, it violates single responsibility principle, which we talked about in previous lecture. A single responsibility principle states that a class should only have a single responsibility. So one option is to separate the functionality to separate classes. So one option we have is to have three different classes: pay calculator, employee gateway and employee report generation. So we have pay calculator, which calculates pay, employee gateway, which saves employee detail, and employee report generation class, which generates employee report. These class holds reference to the employee class, which will have its own getter and setter. And each of this class is responsible for one thing, like pay calculator to calculate pay, employee gateway to save employee data, and employee report generation to print employee report. So it follows a single responsibility principle where each class is responsible for one thing and not responsible for multiple things. We will look later in the coding section how it's done, and we will look at some code. Another way will be that calculate pay behavior implementation be part of employee class, and you have two other class, one for the report and one for the saving employee record, and these have reference to the employee class as shown. So there's a whole multiple way of doing this separation so that there is no tight coupling between different behaviors, so that when a change occurs to one behavior, it's not impacting the other behavior. Say if there's a change or update to the employee report generation logic, the business rules and client logic built for save employee and calculate pay is not affected. Again, we'll be looking at some of the code example in the next video. Let's look at some code. Note the objective of this example is to make sure you understand the solid principle with example code. With this example, I'm not teaching you Java or complexity of programming language. So most of the example in this courses focuses on solid concept, try to look at the big picture. Though in this example we are using Java programming language, the concepts can be applied to any object-oriented programming language. So try to understand the concept which you can apply to any programming language of your choice. You can download the code from the download section of this lecture. So we will be looking into two packages. The one under com.solid.srp.base is code which is violating SRP principle, and one in com.solid.srp.modify is refactored code based on SRP principle. And this code follows the employee class example that we had discussed it earlier. The one where class employee is doing multiple things like calculating pay, saving employee details, and to print the report. And the solution that we'll be looking is the refactored code and breaking the employee class into different manageable classes as shown, one for calculate pay, to save employee data, and to report employee generation. And these classes have reference to employee. And this code follows the employee class example that we had discussed it earlier. The one where class employee is doing multiple things like calculating pay, saving employee details, and to print the report. And the solution that we'll be looking is the refactored code and breaking the employee class into different manageable classes as shown, one for calculate pay, to save employee data, and to report employee generation. And these classes have reference to employee. The problem with employee class is it violates SRP. SRP states that class should only have a single responsibility and only one reason to change. The employee class here has multiple responsibilities. The employee class saves employee details, calculates salary, and print employee report. SRP UI class is just an invocation class which calls different methods of employee class. This we have designed in such way for the simplicity's sake. In a typical production application, you will have separate UI class for each of the different methods in the employee class. So there are different reasons for the class employee to change, and as per SRP, there need to be only one reason to change the class. This violation of SRP, other than making the employee class bulky and unmanageable, also impacts calling client code. Also, we looked into the issue of change management collision, which is caused when the two methods of the same class are managed by two different teams. For example, if here save employee details and print employee report are managed by two different teams, then there's a possibility of change management collision. As a software developer, when you see this type of code in your project, that is one class doing many things, I want you to start thinking how you can apply SRP to make the code more manageable. And that's what the design principle does. It helps you to think through. Always remember, these are principles and not requirements. So you have to figure out how you use this principle to best in your code. So what are the solutions? To apply the single responsibility principle, we need to break the bulky employee class and we need to decouple these responsibilities. As shown in the refactored code, we have separated class for calculate pay, report generation, and saving the employee details. And these classes have reference to the employee class, so that any change in the method of one of the class won't have any impact on other classes, since now it's decoupled. That is, if I add one more argument to say calculate salary method, then only the client code which is calling the employee pay calculate class will be impacted. I need not to change the client code which is calling logic to generate the report or to save the employee data. When you define a class, the general good rule to follow so as to ensure it's efficient and manageable is that the class have 8 to 10 lines of code. A good sign is to have the class fit into the editor window and you need not to scroll. That's kind of a good sign that it's a class with a manageable length or manageable size. If a class is of 8 to 9 line of code, then it's pretty easy to read, easy to understand, which is easier for new developer to come on board. It's easier to understand chunks rather than the whole big class. So the rule is, if your class is responsible for more than one thing, then you need to split the class. Now, if you have an existing production code in which class is already doing multiple things, then it will be difficult to make your existing code a complete overhaul and to refactor the code and break that big bulky classes into small chunks. But you can start it in a small way. You can start taking the small responsibilities from the big bulky class and start making it a separate independent class, one at a time. So that's about the SRP code. I have uploaded the code, so I encourage you to download and play with it. So that covers the single responsibility principle. Hope by now you have got a good understanding of this principle. So the main thing to keep in mind is that as per SRP, class should only have a single responsibility and only one reason to change. We also looked at some example with help of employee class and some of the symptoms on violating SRP, like how class that violates SRP is unmanageable over a period of time. So hope you guys try out what you learned and try to apply this concept in the real life projects that you're working on. Any questions, feel free to message me, write me, or post it in the discussion forum if it helps the larger audience. So let's go on to the next principle, and that's open close principle. So see you soon.